I'm Cal Kellogg, and my hybrid lead core system has brought lead core trolling back into the spotlight for trout and salmon anglers all over the country. If you'd like the world's best lead core trolling rod, get on over to fishhuntshoot.com and pick up one of my iconic bright yellow lead core rods today. You won't regret it because you'll be yelling, "Fish on!" tomorrow. Fish on. Ooh. Fish on the worm and turbo. The micro turbo. Down at 15 feet. Wasn't getting hit up at top and dropped down to 15 feet. 5 minutes later, fish on. 1.5 miles an hour right here in the sunny part of the lake. He's a battler. He's down there. He's staying down there. Ooh, there he goes. Come to life now. He's seen the kayak. We didn't like that. Oh, nice rainbow. I believe I'll lift him aboard. Just like that. Bam. Oh yeah, he was hooked good. Hooked him right through the lower jaw on that slow death hook, man. Awesome. Get him off, get him back in the water. Meadows, nice hold over. And there he goes. Oh, there he goes. Going back down where he came from. Awesome. You like that micro turbo and worm? I got to put a new worm on there. I better reel this other line in before I get tangled on the bottom. I've shown this a bunch of times here on the channel, but why not show it again? Here's how you thread a worm. Whether you're trolling it naked, trolling it behind a blade, whatever. I like to use those slow death hooks. Let's grab a nice sized worm. There's a good sized night crawler there. I'm going to break off about 2 inches of that worm, and I'm going to take the pointed end, not the flat end. That's the flat end there. That's the tail. You don't want to use that. You want to use the pointed end. Now, I'm going to grab your worm threader right here. You want to find the end of the worm that you broke off, and you want to go about 1/8 of an inch up from that break and insert the worm threader. Just push it right through the skin, and then just put it right down the center of the worm. Work the worm on there, right through the center of the worm's body, and come right out through the pointy end, just like that. Now, take your slow death hook, just like that. Insert it in the end of the worm threader. Always a challenge if you can't see very well, but I'll get it in there. Don't worry about that. There we go. Combination of mud on the threader and that bright light just wasn't helping me. So just slide that worm up, over. Make sure you keep that leader tight like that. See, I got a little tension on there. Slide that worm right over the bend of the hook, right up past the eye. And that slow death hook, the bends in that hook shank, well, they'll do the rest because you want that worm rotating as it goes through the water. That's what I caught that fish on, just like that. Got that little micro turbo working above the worm for some added flash, added vibration, and well, we'll get this back in the water and see if we can hook up again. Ring the dinner bell for trout, kokanee, and landlocked kings with Cal Kellogg's Willow Leaf Dodgers. Available in mini and magnum sizes at fishhuntshoot.com. Get yours today. Howdy guys, Cal Kellogg here. It is time for a Sierra trout fishing report. And things are pretty positive. It all comes down to access. There's a lot of lakes that, you can't access them due to snow and ice. We haven't had a lot of snow this year, but we've had enough snow and we have enough ice to keep you off a lot of lakes. Like French Meadows, for example. You're not getting up there if you're the average guy. Fishing's probably great, but you can't get up there. I'm at Sugar Pine Reservoir today. I was hampered by ice on the ramp here for about 10 days. It's melted now. Access was no problem. I've had several bites. I've caught a few holdover rainbows. It's been productive. I hear Rollins Lake is pepping up. There are trout plants scheduled in the near future for places like Rollins, Scotts Flat, Englebright, so on and so forth. go on over to the Department of Fish and Wildlife, California Department of Fish and Wildlife trout planting portal, and it'll break it all down for you. It'll tell you what's been planted, what's going to be planted, stuff like that. You can follow that planting truck around, and you can do very well. But just know that all these Sierra lakes, they all have holdovers too. So what you're going to experience on these lakes right now is you're going to experience cold water temperatures, and you're going to experience cloudy water. The clarity is not what you're probably used to in the high Sierras. So you got to be prepared to deal with those two factors, cloudy water and cold water. I've gotten some fish on spoons, I've gotten some fish on flies, especially spoons that I control slow, like the Trigger Spoon Junior, stuff like that. Going with the bright colors because of the cloudy water. But I'm going to be honest with you, nothing works as well as a threaded worm in this cloudy water. I control them slow. I'm pairing them up with my micro turbo flashers. I've been using some behind blades, some behind full-size turbo flashers. The worms are money. You'll get those fish to come in, they'll hit that worm repeatedly, even though the fish are a little lethargic. They'll get that taste of real meat. They'll keep fooling around with it until they get hooked, and then, you know, it's fish on. I haven't tried bank fishing any of these lakes, but I suspect an inflated worm on one rod and a worm hanging under a slip bobber on the other rod would be a productive way to go. Don't worry about getting out on these Sierra lakes at dark 30 in the morning. You don't need to be here early. The best action of the day is at the warmest part of the day, basically between 10 and 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's the bite window. Get out on the lake early enough that you're all dialed in by 10 o'clock in the morning, and that's when the bites are going to start to kick in. So that's pretty much the picture in the Sierras. I got my fingers crossed for more rain and more snow in the month of March. We need to top these lakes off. Regardless though, we're going to have very good fishing. These lakes all have plenty of holdovers in them. The DFW is going to start supplementing that with planted trout when they have access to these lakes. And for whatever reason, when they start putting planters in these lakes, it seems to really drive the holdover trout to bite as well. Not sure what's going on with that, but that always seems to be the case. So if you get out on a Sierra lake right now, don't expect to get limits, but you are going to have productive action. You're going to have plenty of elbow room. There's nobody around. It's cold. It's breezy up here. Got the whole place to myself pretty much. There's one other kayaker on the lake. He's pulling flies. Nice older gentleman. So we're having a good time out here. That's what you can expect in the high Sierras. Put in your time. You're going to get your shots at fish, and you're not going to be crowded by a bunch of other anglers like you would be at, say, a place like Comanche or something like that. I love those valley lakes, but you know me, I'm a Sierra guy at heart. I love these mountain fisheries. They're just a lot of fun to fish, and it's only going to get better from here. Anyway, that's the story here in the Sierras. I'll catch you next time right here on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button, and if you're looking for trout gear, you know where to go. FishHuntShoot.com. You keep a tight line, and I'll catch you next time right here on YouTube. I'm Kel Kellogg.